So it is the day after the garage cleaning video, and I am walking to my garage to finish the cleaning, and we're gonna go pick up the car today. So let's start. As you saw, it was 20 degrees out, so yeah, we're gonna grab my key in the lock, and boom, this is the back room that all my other stuff is in. Yesterday I said it doesn't belong to me. It kind of does and it kind of doesn't. It's filled with a lot of stuff. That's the wrong one. There we go. There's a lot of like woodworking stuff in here, and that's all my stuff just kind of stacked up. But this stuff doesn't belong to me, and that doesn't belong to me over here. So I can't really do anything with it. It isn't used. It's kind of a waste, but it's not used. But it also doesn't belong to me. I just kind of have free reign of the garage. So, open the garage door, and I'm going to do a walkthrough of what I did, just to recap, and what I still need to do. Here is the glorious Shamokin coal mines, and that's Doug's Jeep, and this is what it looks like from outside. All of this was full of crap, and I moved it yesterday into there. That's a chair that I need to fix. I need to figure this oil spill out. I need to move the engine slightly. I'll just move it to the left, really. And just to make room for, because it's the SF, the one that I'm getting is roughly the same length of my car. So it's, it's about like there. So if I can just kind of line up the cylinder head with this table, at least for now, it'll be alright. Which I can totally do. I just need to move those buckets, probably put them over there with those other buckets. And I gotta move that box of garbage over there. I'm gonna fill trash bags up. I gotta move the hatch from Doug's mom's van, the guinea pig cage, a few other boxes, and then there's my scrap pile. But that can stay there until I get the car, and I'm just gonna fill it up, really. So yeah, not all that much more work to do, considering what was done yesterday. I give it about a half hour, and I should be done. Alright, so here's where the other car is going to go. I'm pretty sure it'll fit, as Doug starts his Jeep in the background. I'm pretty sure it'll fit. If it doesn't, then I'll do some more finagling. I didn't move the hatches. I just got my car as close to it as I could, while still being able to wrangle my fat ass out of the door. And yeah, my scrap pile. And once I get the other car here, it'll be a lot easier, because I'll be able to put all my scrap in there, and then that'll give me a little more room to put the other gate or hatch over that way, and all that stuff, and I'll have more room for storage and stuff. So yeah, we're off to get the other car as soon as Doug finishes putting air in his tire. And I got my jump leads, and he's got a pump to pump up the tires of the other Forester. I have the keys for it, and yeah, it's just a little cold out, and I don't usually get cold, but I've been sweating all the time, so I'm a little extra cold now. Alright, so we are at Doug's mom's other house in Ellisburg. It's currently vacant, and this is the Forester. I'll do a walk around video soon. once we get it home and after that stuff. So it's got a lot of cancer and all that stuff. It is an XS, but then again, this is not from this car, this rear hatch. So it's got drum brakes in the rear, so it's probably an X, and it's just got an XS badge. So I'll do a VIN number check and we'll figure it out. It is a 5-speed manual, and it's got the center thing deal there. I think I like the interior of mine a little bit better, my blue one, but it's not that bad. It's pretty nice. And yeah, so I got one more tire to inflate after this, and then we're gonna push it back and jump start it. Some of the advantages of being a fat ass. Turn the wheel all the way to the right. Alright. Stop.
I'll just stay in here and man the switch.
I require your assistance.
Okay.
I hear a woodpecker, do you?
I do.
Have a clutch. Alright, so it is the next day. I am actually editing this video that you're watching right now, and I forgot to document the whole getting the car started and driving home. I am sorry about that, but I was kind of upset and angry and stuff. The story is, we went to jump start it, which you actually see, but the battery was so dead that it would not take any kind of charge at all. So I checked to see what size battery it was. It's the same as my Forester, my 2001, the blue one. So we went home to my garage and grabbed the battery out of my Subaru, because it's not the best battery, but it's good, it works. And then we went all the way back to Elysburg and put that battery in the red Forester, and it started right up. I drove it maybe 100 yards, not even, like 50 yards, and the oil light flickered, so I shut it right off. Usually with those cars, it's a flickering oil light is like a death sentence. But it sounded fine when I started it up. I do regret not actually filming that, because it sounded fine. Actually, you know what? I think I have some on my phone of it running, so I'll put that in now if I do. Alright, so we got it started. Sorry I don't have footage. We actually had to go back to Shamokin and get my battery out of my blue Forester, because the battery was just straight up dead. And turned the key and it cranked for like maybe 5 seconds, and then it went. So I tried to pop start it, and that's why it's down here. And it didn't feel like it had a clutch, but I watched the guy drive it here. So Phil drove it here like 2-3 months ago, and yeah, so we're gonna let it warm up, take it for a ride around the block, and then drive it home probably. And after we got it started, yeah, I moved it about 50 yards and the oil light came on. So I shut it right off, and I sent Doug to go get some oil. He got 4 quarts of oil, not 4 quarts, he got 2 quarts of oil. We put that in, and it was okay. It didn't start making any weird noises, it didn't, whatever, so it was actually okay the ride home. The ride home was very, very sketchy, because the suspension is blown out of it, the rear struts are absolutely gone, and the tires were damaged from sitting flat for so long. They were sitting there for about 2 months, 3 months maybe, and so the whole ride home, I'm, fat guy bouncing around, and then halfway home, the brake lines blew out. So I had to use the parking brake to actually stop. And, I had to downshift, and actually, good thing it's a manual, because, well, if it's an automatic, I could still downshift, but it was a very sketchy ride. I've driven demolition derby cars that had, like, serious frame damage that drove better than this thing. But I love the car. Unfortunately, it's really only going to be good as parts, and I'm just going to get to stripping it, and I'm going to part it out and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to do a video overviewing everything in the coming days. And yeah, so back to the video. Sorry for the 3-minute tirade. Alright, so this is just a quick ending to what you just saw in Ellisburg. We are back. I am in my garage, and, well, I'm not physically in it. I am now. That doesn't matter. Content filler. Here's the interior, just without my fat ass in it. It is a 5-speed. It's got 224,000 miles on it. But the engine has been rebuilt. Not the engine, the transmission has been rebuilt or replaced. The engine started after we came back and got my battery, so the battery is not in there. And it was very low on oil, so I had to go get some oil and plop it in. The oil light came on. It was the oil pressure light, but I turned it off, like, immediately. And it did not make any weird noises on the way home, so I believe it's okay. The wheels, or the tires, are absolutely wrecked. Driving home, the thing was bouncing like crazy, and I actually lost brakes about, I'd say, halfway home. The master cylinder, I know you can't see it because the lighting in here is very bad, but the master cylinder has literally no brake fluid in it, so it popped a brake line. And yeah, so it didn't make any weird noises, and it got home safe.